Thank you.
Out for the thumbnail. Okay. All right.
No
So
one's
this
smiling.
this
I did like a closed mouth smile.
I did not
I was
smile,
like,
for sure.
this is NFL Banter Weekly Pick'em. I think that's what we're gonna call it. Gonna separate the sports a little bit from the pod and do these hopefully once a week and do a little sports action. Stick with our NFL picks for now. Maybe venture off into other sports things. I woke up an hour ago and I'm not wearing pants, so let's do it. You guys ready? How you doing?
How are you? You seem pretty out of it right now.
Don't actually care. Let's jump into some games.
All right.
All right, tonight we got Bengals versus Browns. Browns minus 6.5. I actually like this one a lot. It's not gonna be my mortal lock, but I like Joe Burrow to finally get that dub that Randy Bullock cheated him out of last week. So I'm gonna take Bengals plus 6.5.
Yeah, no, that's a great pick by you. I'll join you there. 6.5. I love that total. I think I wouldn't have liked it as much if it was 6, but that extra half a point. Yeah, so heavy money on the Browns. I love that even more. Vegas is going to get a big payday today. Got to go Bengals plus 6.5.
all right, yeah. I hate to do a solidarity pick, but because it's not a lock, I will. I'm also going to go with the Bengals to take down the Browns. Again, the only way I can really see this game going the Browns' way is if they just run it down their throats. Like, I don't think Baker's going to complete more than like 15 passes, like, to be honest. And Joe Burrow, again, primetime game, Thursday Night Football, it's going to be a slop fest. I don't feel like it's football season yet until we see like an absolute shitter of a game on Thursday. It's like 13-10. You got two bad teams playing. Like, I think the Bengals might take this one outright.
Yeah, I'm not going to moneyline this one for sure because I think the Browns might win, but 6.5 is just too bad of a number.
Yeah, I mean the thing is,
too bad.
The Browns can run the dang football. They ran it against the Ravens up until it was a blowout last week, but that Bengals are going to have to score points to win or to cover at least.
I love Joe Burrow.
100% agree with that statement. You're going to get that Baker crucial turnover that's just going to make you want to, stab someone. So that's just – I can't be on that side. I'm sorry.
Wrong side of history. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next we got Falcons at Cowboys. Cowboys 4.5-point favorites. I'll tentatively take the Cowboys because the Falcons defense looked like hot trash last week against the Seahawks. I think they kind of open it up and score a bunch of points and win in a shootout where they end up winning by 7-10, something around there. So I'll take the Cowboys minus 4.5.
Yeah, same story as always with Dallas. New Year, same shit. You got Dak Prescott, check down king, doesn't want to throw any air yards, launch it out to his elite receiving core. No Blake Jarwin anymore, RIP. Zeke looked elite.
That guy has like 59 catches in 4 years, and people are acting like they lost the Messiah.
Every play he has is a big play, though. I'm going to go on the record there. So
I don't understand why
Blake Jarwin guy.
Blake Jarwin like this.
Every play he has is a big play. I'm going on the record there. Fact check me. Do what you want with that clip. On the record, every play he has is a big play. Okay. But to that point, Cowboys disappointing as hell last week. Curry's mortal lock. I hope everyone faded that. Big payday for most people because most people I know faded that. I do like them this week, though, despite that rant. Falcons, they've clearly picked a side. They're starting the season bad, finishing strong, much like last year. They're going to cover big time. Dallas 4.5.
I'm going to go Falcons on you. And let me tell you why. Yeah. Well, I feel like you guys should be confident if I'm going against you, right?
Right.
Yes,
those are the best picks.
Dude, the Cowboys last week, my mortal lock, they let me down because they let Malcolm Brown and a couple of rookies run all over them. They couldn't stop a nosebleed because Van Der Esch left like you knew he would. You figured he'd make it at least 3 quarters into the game.
I mean,
No,
he's the new
didn't even
Sean
make it that
Lee.
far.
He's the
He's
new
the new Sean
Lee.
Lee. He's the best player to ever play, but he never plays. So
Exactly.
So is he actually good? No one knows. But despite that, I mean, that linebacker core and that front seven could not stop a nosebleed. And I think the Falcons with that high-powered offense, we've seen that, the Cowboys, like Dak Prescott in the fourth quarter is powerless. I think he's a big bitch, and I think that the Falcons are going to win this game. I think they might win outright. I think they're going to win outright.
The B word, getting personal. We're an anti-Dak
Dak
podcast.
Is such a beta. I hate the Dak is good narrative.
Yeah, it's tough. The Skip Bayless narrative, if you will.
Right. We lost Dr. Locks here for a second.
Sorry. Oh, I'm back.
Dr. Locks is back.
Sorry.
Okay, so we got me and Jesse taking Cowboys, Curry taking the Falcons. Next, we got Bills at Dolphins. Bills 6-point favorites. This is a tough one to pick for me. I will go with the Bills with no conviction, -6.
Yeah, I have one big Bills fan in my life. He's acting like this is the 2007 Patriots, like they're going to go 16-0. Bills fans are very, very confident. Don't know why.
Who'd they beat by 10 points last week? Like a junior.
They beat some team. I don't want to bring it up because I know it causes you a lot of pain.
They beat a band of high schoolers last week by 10.
Yes, we'll keep it at that.
They're not the 07 Patriots.
Yeah, we'll keep it at that. Very confident. They were in danger of not covering. They covered last week. I think the law of averages kicks in here. I still think they're a good team. They're my pick to win the AFC East, but they're not covering this week. Dolphins, what is it, 5.5, I think you said? 6. Yeah, Dolphins 6.
I'm going to go Bills. I think they are good enough to cover. I think that Dolphins offense is not going to be able to put up points against the Bills. I think it's going to be a crap game, but I think the Bills are going to cover.
Yeah, I think it might be a crap game, but again, no conviction. Bills -6. Panthers at Bucks. Bucks 8.5-point favorites. I have to take the Panthers here. Don't think the Bucks are that good. Panthers a little better than people thought. I think they showed last week. They showed some good offense. Christian McCaffrey's still a thing. I don't think the Bucks have the best run defense. Kamara kind of ran free against them last week. So I'm going to take the Panthers to cover 8.5. I don't know that they win this game, but 8.5 is too big of a number for me to take.
Yeah, no, this is a public special right here. I think like the real legitimate line should be in like the 6.5 territory, something in the Vegas zone. Public, I think, clearly pushes this to 8.5. You're going to get your Brady bots. You're going to get the people who still think this is a premier team. I mean, maybe they figure it out, but Brady's decision-making last week was pretty brutal. That pick 6 was awful. Hell, you got Bruce Arians calling him out after the game. That was kind of weird. I'm not sure if I'm going to go on. Yeah, he's pretty no holds barred with that, but I'm not going to go on full locker room watch, but I think I got to go Panthers here. The line's too big right there. Panthers plus 8.5.
8.5 is a big number, but I really think that Tom Brady is an angry man right now. And I think that the Bucks cover. I think that Tom Brady is just going to be able to pick apart this inferior Panthers team. That's what he does. He just takes bad teams and he beats the piss out of them. So I'm going to take the Bucks to cover.
Okay, so we got me and Jesse taking Panthers and Curry taking the Bucks. Next we got Broncos at Steelers. Steelers 7.5-point favorites. I'm all in on the Steelers bandwagon, so I'll take the Steelers -7.5. I hope for fantasy's sake James Conner doesn't play this week because Benny Snell's better than him. But I think they're the better team here. 7.5 is a pretty big number, but it seems like a 2-score game to me, so I'll take the Steelers -7.5.
Yeah, just to keep everyone in the loop, Sam had to get 34 points, I believe, from James Conner and Saquon Barkley to beat me in fantasy. And you can get that. You can get that on a rainy day. You can get that on a snowy day. You get that 9 times out of 10. But Saquon just couldn't. Saquon had negative yardage, I'm pretty sure.
No, I had 15 rushes for 6 yards. It was sick.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a tough beat. And then James Conner left the game with injury. So just a brutal
Of course, I hype myself up. Like people are like, "Oh, Barry Sanders rushed for like 6 yards in a playoff game." I'm like, "Oh, I guess he's Barry Sanders because of that."
Yeah, like
So not exactly high on James Conner, but I agree with you. The Steelers looked good last week.
Their defense looked good.
Yeah, defense. I mean, Giants had brutal turnovers. I don't know what Danny Dimes was doing, especially in the red zone. He kind of just threw it up there for grabs. But the Broncos didn't really show me much. Still not a Drew Lock guy. I got to go Steelers cover here.
I'm also going Steelers cover. Just again, it's a good Steeler defense against another inexperienced quarterback, and you kind of saw what happened last week. That front seven on the Steelers, T.J. Watt's a problem, and he's going to be a problem for.
He's a bad man.
He's a bad man. He's a bad man, Pajama.
Didn't mention this, but a little bit of a West Coast 1:00 start type situation for the Broncos as well, going to Pittsburgh for a 1:00 game. So that could also.
Yeah, that is a theory.
Yeah, might be another crap game, but I think the Steelers defense is, again, they contain Saquon, who, last year, I don't even know how many negative rushes he had. It seemed like he was breaking a tackle in the backfield like every time he touched the ball last year, but Steelers contained him. I think the Steelers win this one pretty easily and cover.
Okay, so we all take the Steelers here.
Solidarity.
I don't like any of them this week. So next we have Detroit.
I never liked
Green Bay. Green Bay 6-point favorites. I am all in with Mr. Matt Curry on the Packers after last week. Big overreaction from me.
Let's fucking go.
Aaron Rodgers looks like a bad man, a man on a mission, and so I'm definitely going to take the Packers -6 here.
Yeah, I haven't met a Lions line I didn't like. I took the Lions last week. They broke my heart. DeAndre Swift, thank you for dropping that touchdown and blowing my cover. Had you in the Blazing 5, would have won that. Would have won a lot of money if you caught that. Thanks again. But like I said, I haven't met a Lions line I will not take. So Lions +6 covering.
We know where Curry's going with the.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers by $1 billion. That's all I got to say. Packers. I don't. For the reason that Sam said, he's a man on a mission. He's just gonna pick apart this crap Lions.
I'm all in with the week. If I have 1 week 1 overreaction, it's Aaron Rodgers is on a mission this year.
Yeah, I would say mine would probably be Aaron Rodgers on a mission, and Eagles are not winning a game.
And mine's I hate DeAndre Swift. That's my.
It's a rite of passage to hate your team more than anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, next we got Jaguars at the Titans. Titans are 8.5-point favorites. The disrespect to the Jags who got the dub last week. I think they come back down to. I think Jags lose this game. 8.5 might be tough though. I'll take the Titans -8.5. I think they win by around 10, so I'll take them there.
Yeah, love this number for the Jags.
Ooh.
Gardner Minshew, stud and a half. You got Laviska Shenault. Write that name down. Big-time rookie receiver.
I believe it's Laviska. We'll go with that.
Yeah, thank you. And then we got DJ Chark, stud. And then we also have a line that's way too big. I think it's going to take a while for Derrick Henry to get going. That's always a take. And then we also have injury concerns. A.J. Brown, I don't think is going to play in this game. So the number is too fat for me. I'm going to go with the Jags.
I'm also going to go with the Jags. I think that's too many points. Again, Jags beat the Colts last week. Like me and Sam's Colts, who are not a bad football team. Like
killed every survivor pool in the country.
Yep, every survivor pool. Yeah. It's like, Colts, like week 1, slam dunk. Like what? And the Jags again. I think the offense isn't as bad as we thought they were for the Jags. I think Gardner Minshew might take a step forward. Again, he's not going to be anything special in the league. I don't think like a premier talent, but I don't think he's like a hack. I think
we all said Kyler was our year 2 leap guy. Is it Gardner Minshew?
Oh, I don't know.
It's also Kyler, but we'll get to that. I'll still take the Titans -8.5 just because I feel like it's going to be a close one. And then just kind of like that Derrick Henry, put him up by 10 at the end, game over type situation. So I'll take the Titans there. Next, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles. this line moved since yesterday. Yesterday, the Eagles were 1.5-point dogs. Now they're 1.5-point favorites. Regardless, this is my mortal lock of the week. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to get this dub. A lot of reasons for this. I feel like these are two pretty similar caliber teams, but you do have the Rams playing that 1 o'clock East Coast game. So a little bit of jet lag going on there. Also, the Rams won last week. Eagles lost last week. So more desperation out of the Eagles, especially when you consider the fact that they play the Bengals next week, but then they get the Steelers, Ravens, and Niners. So they're in big trouble if they don't win this week. They have to win this one. So Eagles -1.5 is my mortal lock.
Yeah. I think this game's a coin flip. Could go either way. The line says that as well. My big concern is you have Nate Herbig at right guard, a.k.a. Reggie Ray from Not Another Teen Movie. Can't block the air. If Jordan Mailata sees time because Lane Johnson's playing, he will play, but he's playing on a hobbled ankle. So we're going to get Jordan Mailata time if anything goes wrong. If he comes in the game, all bets are off. Rams by 1 million. If our line can hold up, I like the Eagles, but that's a big if. So lots of prerequisites here, but I'm taking the Eagles with an asterisk.
Let me just say this. The only time I want to see Jordan Mailata in the game is if he's in at fullback and we're running like a trap sweep. And we just give him the ball on like a screen and just watch him rugby steamroll people.
This is the first time I've ever heard this name, by the way.
He's a rugby player. He was a rugby player. He's never played football. He's never played football until last week. Never played professional football. So
you want.
And somehow was
like,
drafted. And somehow got drafted.
Well, he's like a physical specimen, though. I'm not gonna go crazy with my Eagles takes, but he's a physical specimen and but he's never played football. Anyway, I'm going with the Rams. Whatever the line is, the Rams are winning this game. Again. Saw Aaron Donald last week. There was clips of Twitter of him just ripping apart the Cowboys O-line, and like Jesse said, Reggie Ray can't block the air. I don't see how we're gonna stop him because everything starts with your O-line, and the Eagles O-line is Swiss cheese. And see what happens to Carson Wentz under pressure. He coughs the ball up.
One factor you missed: Sean McVay is a giant fraud and cannot be Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Eagles.
That is a massive condition.
Yeah.
You have to factor in here. 0-2 against Doug Peterson.
All right. Well, last week the Eagles beat themselves, so
we'll
see.
I'm picking the Rams, dog.
All right. So Curry takes the Rams.
A little less Delco, please. Thank you.
That's a good look for my mortal lock of Curry.
Picking the Rams. Yeah. That I'm going against you for your mortal lock. I'm going with the Rams.
Also worth mentioning, I felt the need to take this mortal lock because betting on your own team is pain. So I know you guys wouldn't take it. So I had to step up here and take it so you guys can mush them out of existence, I guess.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next we got Vikings at Colts. Very tough one here. Colts are -3 favorites. I'm all in on both of these teams. I picked them both to win their division, and now they're both 0-1. So it's kind of tough to pick here. I'll take the home team. I'll take the Colts to finally right the ship. I think the Vikings have the talent to kind of right it a little bit later. Colts need this one, so I'll take Colts -3.
Okay, I'm going to do something crazy here. I know we're not huge analytics guys, but I'm going to give you some analytics.
Thank you.
Both these teams are pretty much equal here. In normal times, the home team gets a 3-point advantage in the line. There's no fans. There's no home field advantage. These teams are equal. I'm getting 3 free points. I'm taking the Vikings all day long. Vikings cover big time.
All right, I'm not going to throw analytics at you because that's not what we're about. But I'm also going to take the Vikings. I think Dalvin Cook is the real deal. I think the Colts are struggling. Phillip Rivers, just these late game turnovers. I mean, we saw it last week. He's just
never changed.
Last week was peak Phillip Rivers. It was peak Phillip Rivers. We're down late in the fourth. Let's start marching down the field and then throw the ball to the other team. So I think the Colts can win if they just stick to the ground game with, the rookie running back that they have. But I don't see it happening. I think the Vikings can put up points, and once they get ahead, they're going to stay ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to take the Colts. You guys are both going to take the Vikings. Next,
Correct.
we have the New York Football Giants at the Chicago Bears. Bears are 5.5-point favorites. I will take the Giants. I am bearish on the Bears. 5.5 is a pretty big number, and I think these are two below-average teams. So the Giants keep it close enough to cover here.
Good alliteration there. Bearish on the Bears.
Bearish on the Bears.
Agree with that sentiment. Also bearish on the Giants. Daniel Jones not taking that year 2 leap. You're not the guy. Clearly. Offensive line is just 5 Reggie Rays. Eagles have only 1. So it's just a massive pile of crap. Chicago's got a good team. The defense looks worse this year. You got the Trubisky factor. He's going to blow every game for you and keep it close in the fourth quarter and cover. So that's why I'm taking the Bears.
Oh, sorry. Did you lose me again?
No, you're back.
Dr. Locks, go.
I'm also taking the Bears for the reason that you said. They got 5 Reggie Rays on their O-line. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't pass the ball. Like, the Bears, yeah, Mitch Trubisky. What can we say about Mitch Trubisky that hasn't already been said? So, but
how much money has he
way,
cost you lifetime?
A lot,
insurmountable.
Man. He just loves not putting up points. He loves getting into field goal range and then either getting sacked out of field goal range or turning the ball over.
Yeah.
But no, even with the roast of Mitch, I think that the Bears, the rest of the players on the Bears are good enough to win this game to spite Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I feel like the Giants are very dependent on Saquon breaking off a 60 to 70-yard touchdown run. That's kind of makes or breaks what their offense does for the game.
Yeah, for real.
We'll see what happens. I'm taking the Giants. You guys are both taking the Bears. For our last 1 o'clock game, we have the San Francisco 49ers coming into MetLife Stadium against my New York Jets. Jets are 7-point dogs at home. Love to see it. They could be 15-point dogs. They're still taking the Niners. So -7 for the Niners is free money. I pick against the Jets until they win. So -7 by a trillion.
So is this a console game, or if they lose, we're not consoling yet?
No, you don't console till 0-4. I don't think.
Okay, that's fair. 100% fair, and I do agree with that sentiment. So actually, I liked your half console Jets here because of the injuries to San Francisco. So you got Richard Sherman won't play. George Kittle's a question mark. They're missing a couple more corners. Deebo Samuel's been on IR since the season started. Clearly, these injuries are starting to catch up to them. Kyler, big-time cover and money line hit last week. I think these injuries are going to catch up to them, and even the Jets will cover against San Francisco. Jimmy G has a bad day.
Oh, no, they have no corners to cover Brashad Perriman and Chris Hogan.
Jimmy G has a bad day. Write that tape down. Jets cover.
Thank you for jumping in there, Sam. I'm going to go Niners. You could put me at corner for this Niners team. Like you said, Brashad Perriman, Le'Veon Bell stinks. Is he even going to play?
IR.
Yeah.
It stinks when he's healthy, so who's our backup?
You got Frank Gore running back there.
Frank.
Wow.
Are you taking
Frank Gore?
Out, Curry?
Frank Gore. No. I'm saying, are you serious?
Geriatric Frank Gore.
Yeah, no. Niners.
All right, so Curry and I taking the Niners. Jesse taking the Jets for some reason. Next, we have Washington football team at the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals -6.5. No respect for Washington football team after the performance they put on against the Eagles. Very legit defensive line. But I'm all in on the Cardinals, as you know, so I'm gonna have to take them -6.5. They looked very good last week. I don't know how the Washington football team corner situation is, but DeAndre Hopkins is gonna eat as per usual. So I'll take the Cardinals -6.5.
Yeah, I love that pick 100 times out of 100. Was considering making this my mortal lock, but we'll hold off on that for now. Want to give my father a credit here. The Eagles proved last week that they had lost to, by season's end, one of the worst teams in professional football. So I think the Washington football team is going to be a top 5 worst team in the NFL, despite my high hopes for the Eagles. I think Arizona is a premier team. Kyler clearly is much better. And I love DeAndre Hopkins in that offense. I'm 100% taking the Cardinals to cover.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Give me the Cardinals. Again, Kyler Murray was just – I think he figured out pretty early on, hey, if I just throw it to DeAndre Hopkins 20 times a game, like, that's not a terrible game plan as far as, my passer rating. Like, and then, he's so friggin' shifty too. Like he's like a young, spry Russell Wilson. With
Yeah,
the
he's
Ooh.
great at sliding like Russell
Good
Wilson.
comparison.
Yeah,
Like
every time he slides, like him or Mahomes, like baseball slide.
That
like,
baseball
ooh,
background.
He's never slid before.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me the Cardinals again. People forget that by people I mean Eagles fans forget like. They were up 17-0 at halftime. Like, that didn't happen accidentally. They marched down the field. They stopped them on defense. Like, this Redskins team is not a good football
Stinks.
team. Like,
they got the ball.
Sorry,
All
not
their
Redskins.
points came
I
off.
said Redskins. That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah,
guys.
you're canceled.
Canceled.
First off, you're
Canceled.
canceled. But
My
second
fault.
off, I want to take that point and say that they started every possession in the second half past midfield that they got points on. So the Eagles
There you go.
gifted them points last week.
Yeah.
That football team stinks. 100%. I'm taking I'm taking the Cardinals.
The football team, not that football team. It's the football team. Actually.
Yes.
Okay, so we got a consensus here on the Cardinals -6.5. Next, we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Houston Texans. Texans 7-point dogs. I will take the Ravens. They're a very good football team. Houston is an average football team. Very good football teams beat average teams by more than 7 points. So I will take the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I think this is a popular suicide pool. I think the Ravens are going to be the clear winner here. I'm not sure if it's a cover because the line's big. I tend to lean towards Texans, and I hate myself that I'm going to take the Texans here, but I think Bill O'Brien screws America here, and they cover.
Dr. Locks, looks like you got something on your mind here.
Mortal lock of the week for Dr. Locks.
Fade this pick.
The Ravens are going to win by 30 points. No, not by 30 points, but
maybe.
Like Sam said, they're a very good football team going against an average football team. So they did last week. They just run, they'll take Lamar Jackson. They can throw it to Mark Andrews in the red zone. They can run it. They're going to stop you on defense. Like, I just don't see a way they win by less than 7 points, to be honest.
So the fade Curry pick of the week is the Houston Texans.
Right. So for those who don't know at home, technically we went 2-1 in our Mortal Locks last week, but what you have to understand is the lock for Curry's pick is to fade him. So we went 3-0 last week, just so everyone's clear.
So the listenership should have gone 3-0.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
100%.
The show went 2-1. The listeners went 3-0.
All right.
So next we have Kansas City Chiefs -8.5 at Los Angeles Chargers. Almost locked this one. Chiefs by 1 trillion. Hate the Chargers. Again, very good football team against what I would say is a below average football team in the Los Angeles Chargers. They got lucky to beat the Bengals last week in Joe Burrow's first start in the NFL. Randy Bullock fucked them. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this game by 1 trillion points. -8.5. Could be -13.5. I take them. Chiefs.
Yeah, this game is just going to be a cakewalk for Andy Reid. He's going to be eating cheeseburgers on the sidelines. He probably won't even be calling plays, to be honest. Maybe even booking an off-season vacation because there's nothing that the Chiefs can do in this game in which they're going to lose. So I hate Austin Eckler. Traded him in one of my fantasy leagues. Disappointing week last week. Tyrod Taylor stinks. Tyrod. Keep second week in a row I did that. So I might have to cancel myself as well. And then, Kansas City's just going to throw a bazillion points up, and they're going to cover big time Kansas City all the way.
I want to go Chargers because I like them as a team, but I can't. Like, not against the Chiefs. Not against the Chiefs. You're not gonna win. This game isn't gonna be close. Like Jesse said. I mean, both you guys are kind of saying like the Chiefs. They're a train. Can't be stopped. So
especially because the Chargers got that lucky dub last week. They're not in desperation mode at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
We lost you, Dr. Locks.
Oh shit.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Sunday Night Football. Very tough pick here. Patriots at Seahawks. Seahawks 4-point favorites. I'll take the Seahawks -4 without much conviction. Going to New England, traveling all the way to Seattle. It is a Sunday Night Football game, so it shouldn't really matter. But the Seahawks looked very good last week. I'm liking that pick for the NFC West. So I'll take them to continue to roll against the Patriots team. Still kind of trying to put it all together, even though they looked pretty good against the Dolphins last week.
Yeah, no. I think it's going to be a Patriots cover here because Russell Wilson, he threw it a lot last week. You're not going to be able to do – they didn't really establish the run too much against the Falcons. You're going to have to run the ball to beat the Patriots because that secondary is elite, the best secondary in the NFL, I'll go to say. Seattle could end up winning even, but 4 is a big number. I think the Patriots, they're going to get better on offense. I like the way the defense looks still. Patriots +4.
I'm going to take the Patriots as well. I think, again, kind of like what Jesse was saying about the Seahawks against the Falcons, but in regards to the Patriots offense, like we've only really seen, like last week was like, hey, like we can run the ball with Cam Newton now, like, and that was kind of their game script to just kind of show that like, hey, we can do this now with our quarterback. We have a quarterback who can run. I don't anticipate that being the game script moving forward with this Patriots team. I think Cam's going to have to throw the ball, but I think that they can still definitely be effective running it against the Seahawks. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay, so I'm taking the Seahawks. You guys are both taking the Patriots. On to Monday Night Football. With one mortal lock hanging in the balance, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders' first game in the new stadium. Not that it really matters because there's no fans. But
such a depressing year. Such a depressing year.
Saints' offense was kind of unimpressive last week. I'll take them to win this game, but not to cover. I'll take the Raiders +5.5.
As you so eloquently foreshadowed, there's one mortal lock remaining, and it's my mortal lock. America, write this down. The Las Vegas Raiders cover big time against the New Orleans Saints. Big time. New Orleans Saints heavily injured, and by heavily injured, I mean Mike Thomas is injured. That's a big player for them.
True.
I also panic-picked the Raiders, if you recall correctly, on the inaugural episode of the For the Banter podcast. So I am binded at the hip for this Raiders team. So I have to, by law, make them my cover. And I also like the fact that they just look good. They looked good last week. So because of all those prerequisites, I am choosing the Raiders to cover big time.
You think they win?
Yes. Write that down. Money line too. But my mortal lock is on the Raiders +5.5.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All-American Matt Curry, little banner right there. Little plug.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's actually that's fireman of the year, actually. Yeah, it's backwards. I'm going to – I don't think the Raiders are covering. I'm sorry, man. Or you're welcome, I guess.
I mean, it's a you're welcome instead of you're sorry.
So, I mean, the Saints took it to Tom Brady and the Bucs last week. Again, Alvin Kamara had a late touchdown taken off the board. That would have been his third of the game. Like, I really don't think the Raiders' defense is impressive. I think they can run the ball. I think Derek Carr is actually a punk. Don't think that they can move the ball against the Saints.
I'll write that down.
Him punk? Call him punk with his – well, he's got eyeliner on, so.
True. Fair.
It's kind of goth, punk, emo, whatever you want to call it.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, I mean, the Saints, we established this in the inaugural pod. They're regular season warriors.
They are.
And, yeah, I think they win this one pretty easily. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we have our mortal locks in. Mine is Eagles -1.5 against the Rams. Curry's is the Ravens -7 against the Texans, and Jesse's is the Las Vegas Raiders +5.5 against the New Orleans Saints. So that's going to do it for week 2 for us. So far, I am 9-6. Jesse is 6-9, and Curry is 7-8. So I'm winning this podcast.
Mortal locks matter.
Wait, go back. Who was losing?
Take.
Who was losing? Was it me? No, it wasn't.
Mortal locks
You lost
matter.
Mortal Lock. That's like Mortal Lock is like 3 picks. So
thank you.
All right, maybe
I'd venture to say 15 picks, but thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see you guys next week for this new pod dropping on Monday. So it should be a fun episode. We got a very special guest coming in. It's not Curry. He's only doing
It's
that.
not me.
So catch you guys next time.
God bless all
Bye.
of you.